Good delivery here.
Mata into what? What about that? Chelsea's man for the big occasion scores his biggest ever goal in what may be his last match for the club. You can't write it.
What a header that is.
Welcome back to the Soccer Universe. Here with Fran and Yashish as always. What's up, guys? I also want to say I may have made a mistake in the intro, but I'll let both Fran and Yashish elaborate on that one.
Well, it was a somewhat eventful week. At least here in Brazil, my team, 7 wins in a row. We're flying, so that's good.
It's our team now.
Our team.
Our team.
Yashish watched the game with me. That was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But and then the Super League, what the hell was that? Everything collapsed. Kind of suspicious that it didn't really collapse, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Yashish?
The Super League, I mean, Perez is adamant on the fact that something's going to happen. Oh, can I also add that we're watching the Chelsea versus Real Madrid game right now? And I'm watching it with a few people. So it's live reactions play. Like I'll turn the camera around every time something happens. But my phone, my laptop fell. Oh my God. I didn't leave the Zoom. Did I leave the Zoom? I might have left the Zoom.
No, you're good.
I didn't leave the Zoom. I think I left the Zoom. Did I leave the Zoom? I might have left the Zoom.
You're on Zoom.
Yes. Yashish, we see you.
I'm on Zoom. Let's go. It's entertainment for the viewers. My laptop fell, so I thought I slept.
We were just watching you panic for the last minute.
But yeah, about the Super League though. I feel like something's gonna happen. Like the owners got really cold feet, and I'm glad they did because we all discussed all the negatives about Super League in detail. And thanks, I think our last video did pretty well. We got 40 plus views. Yeah, so I thank you for everyone who's been watching, even if it's 15-20 minutes, but thank you. Yeah, I think something's gonna happen. I had a suggestion. What I want is how the league is a step for people. So people want to do really well in the league to get in the Champions League, correct? So my suggestion was that people that shouldn't Champions League be the way for people to get into the Super League. So just hear me out. Instead of Super League being a 20-team tournament, it should be a 16 teams tournament. And the 16 teams, in order to be one of the 16 teams, you need to reach the knockout stages of the Champions League.
Ooh.
So the 16 teams that reach the knockout stages of the Champions League get into the Super League for next year. And Super League is not regulated by FIFA or UEFA. It has to be regulated by the teams within the Super League. So the money does not get funneled through UEFA, and UEFA cannot just steal some money out of it and just give.
But if you have a competition with a bunch of different teams and it's supposed to rotate and change every year, who's the managing body? Because the same group of teams won't always get into the Super League. But then, so in that case, you can't have Florentino Perez run the thing, right? Because it's not like his team's guaranteed to be there every year. But you need someone running it.
But
and the idea is to cut out the middleman.
Yeah, I want UEFA and FIFA to get cut off. At least one tournament where the clubs get all the money and they decide how to distribute it, right? Because let's be honest, UEFA and FIFA are a greedy organization, are a corrupted organization. So I'm thinking of a model that would give so much motivation. So once a team, even a small team like Spartak Moscow has the opportunity to reach all the way to the UEFA, not UEFA, but European Super League.
The Yashish Super League.
Yes.
So my question is, let's say I reach the Champions League knockout stages, right? And I go on to win it. Next year, I'm not playing in the Champions League, I'm playing in the Super League.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because what happens to both competitions next year?
So now that you mention it, I'm thinking, right? How Because one of the other issues, for what I thought initially was that the players play in both the Champions League and the teams play in Champions League and Super League and the Premier League and the domestic competitions. But that's not thinking about it. That's not. Exactly. Now that I think about it, that's the players are dead then.
Do you really want to hear Jurgen Klopp complaining about that next year? Like, is that what we want?
Ooh. Then how do you do something where the clubs I want to remove UEFA's greed out of the equation for at least one tournament, the FIFA's greed out of the equation for at least one tournament, but
No,
that
I
we
like the
can't do that
idea.
by we can't do that without compromising on the
I have a thought.
how go ahead.
The League Winners' Cup. I know there's already like a competition called that,
I like
but
that.
Champions League is for all the just top, cream of the crop of all of Europe, right? You don't have to win your league. However, Man City, let's say Barca, Atletico Real, whoever, Bayern, Inter Milan, PSG, one very isolated tournament between them. What do you think?
Pretty cool.
Because I think that's at least distinct from the Champions League. It's a small enough group of teams, so it's a small tournament. It shouldn't interfere too much in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could have a managing body because you just have the La Liga, like Spanish FA and La Liga, and then you'd have like the English FA and the Premier League. Those guys are in coordination with it, but it's not like UEFA and FIFA are directly like managing this.
That would be pretty cool. My only concern with that is, does it completely take all of the status away from the Club World Cup? So like the winner of the Champions League plays against the winner of the Libertadores here in South America, plays against CONCACAF champion, Asian champion, stuff like that. Does it completely ruin it for those teams that are outside of Europe?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to. I love the Club World Cup, to be honest. I don't want to remove that because it's like not the best. It's not the best in terms of competitiveness, but it's interesting to have. I like the setup. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because and this is I'm speaking really from a Brazilian perspective, because it's really cool when a team from Brazil gets in there and we get to play Bayern or whatever,
Yeah. I imagine Japanese fans feel the same way when Real Madrid 4-1s them or something, right? I don't know, but I also think we don't need to add another. I like the idea of cutting out UEFA and FIFA as a middleman, which is why I didn't like the Super League, but I like that one point about it. But I just don't think there needs to be another just entirely new competition, because either way it diminishes the value of the Champions League.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I have a question. Is there any summer where there's no international tournament? So there's Euros, there is the Copa America, there is the Asian tournaments, and then there is the World Cup, right? So is there any one summer where there's no international thing?
Sure, there is. Especially because I feel they might have changed the schedule on the Copa America. So I feel like there should be a free summer there.
Because if there is, what if there's during that free summer there is what do you call it? A club World Cup, but instead of it being just the winners of UEFA, so we are just the winners of Champions League, just the winners of that. What if it's more it's like an actual World Cup, it's actually a tournament during the summer with the biggest clubs in the world?
That would be really fun.
Winner of the Argentinian league, winner of the Brazilian league, winner of the Japanese, Chinese. That would be really cool, actually. And then the teams get to distribute the wealth. That would be pretty cool.
That could be one way. Not only Europe, let everyone succeed.
That could be a really good way of kind of financially empowering a lot of smaller leagues as well.
Yeah.
But it seems like insane overhead to set up.
True, that's true.
You would cut out UEFA and FIFA and all these other middlemen and just create a new one who has to deal with this.
No, that is true. But you could have really cool incentives. Thinking of so let's say an Argentinian team wins the whole competition, right? And then they get the larger amount of money and they have to distribute it within the Argentinian league as a whole. So they get their money for participating, but they also have to distribute all of this money, which would be an insane amount with all the Argentinian league. That would make it so interesting for teams outside of Europe, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But that only happened once every 4 years is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then like to qualify for that, you need to like keep doing well. And then, what if there's like a point system beyond? So it's like a trophy based point system,
That would
right?
be pretty cool.
So like let's say Sao Paulo wins 3 like Libertadores, and then another one, and some, let's say who else? Who else is that? Like
Boca Juniors.
yeah, Boca. Yeah, let's say they win one, right? But because, and if they win two and two, and then like based on that, like you get a point system that
Yeah.
accumulates over 4 years, and it resets after the Club World Cup. Ooh, that's actually cool.
Oh,
That's
so
actually
I think you're suggesting like just a club like version of March Madness, basically.
Ooh.
That would be
To
Yeah,
us
exactly.
non-American, to the non-American audience, how does March Madness work?
Okay, so basically like you have all of your best teams from all of college basketball, and they're all seeded based on just their their performance throughout the regular season, their overall just talent. Like it's not just like your regular season performance, but also like how like the seeding like analysts rate you, so they can change things too. And then this year is a little different because they kind of played in a bubble, and so it was a little bit of like they didn't really abide by the geographical seeding that they usually do. But generally, yeah, it's you're like one team is like from like the northwest, right? Like it's a section of the teams from like the west, east, like north, south, and it just kind of keeps on like as the competition like narrows, it becomes more general. But like it starts out from like different geographical regions and slowly works its way into a final. And so all the best like college teams. But yeah, so I'm thinking that could work really interestingly for like this kind of setup as well.
It could.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. But all these hypotheticals, we need to figure out. Oh, there's an argument going on. What's the argument? I love it. I love it. I love it. Watching games because people argue about the best things ever. I don't even know what's happening. Let me get back on that. They're discussing who's playing a more boring style of football, Chelsea or Madrid.
Oh yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the first half so far? Like we're already in the second, but I'm saying like before we started this.
I don't know why Madrid went so defensive at the start. I mean, I get the 3 defenders when you feel like your team's a little shaky, and Chelsea especially are very fast on the break. But at the same time, when you concede, just like go for it. You're at home, especially in the Champions League. You don't want to be conceding away goals. So if you are, then just go for it and start scoring. They went for it a little bit at the end of the first half, but now it's very boring.
But that also like they're playing defensive, but
Havertz just came on.
Oh, that's gonna change everything, I'm sure. But yeah, they started very defensive, but they're also very just like I don't know. I think the commentator said see-through defense, which is the best way to put it. Like they weren't really like compact in any way. They're just kind of being stretched all over the field.
Yeah.
I thought Chelsea did a really good job of kind of containing like Modric and Kroos for most of the first half.
That's true. Kroos had a pretty bad first half, to be honest.
Yeah, he did. But also they had no like there's no creativity there otherwise. Like Benzema's goal is just like F1 talent. It's not.
Yo,
there's really nothing that like.
Doesn't come on, I'm gonna be so pissed.
If who?
If Giroud doesn't come on, I'm gonna be so sad.
He scores the winner.
Yeah.
And after scoring the winner, he goes into a card position and just next to Benzema, and he goes like a little slowly, not fast, just walking slowly next to Benzema.
That'd be the perfect celebration. It'd be the most petty thing I've ever seen, though. It's like a 3-year-old's quote.
Chelsea made a bunch of substitutions right now.
Yeah, I saw. Werner is not.
Pulisic is out.
Werner didn't. I don't know why Pulisic, but Werner does not look good.
No. I wanted to ask you guys this because, like, he was so promising in Germany, and then he comes to the Premier League and he loses all his finishing talent. Because he's still dangerous breaking on speed, right? But, like, there's not much finishing going on there. What do you guys think?
He was never a good finisher. He's missed last season in RB Leipzig. He missed the second most chances across Europe. Big
Oh
chances.
wow.
But then again, the first was Robert Lewandowski, right?
Oh,
Okay.
So maybe the reason for missing those big chances is because there are far too many chances he keeps getting, right? That could be a reason. But then still, he did miss a lot of chances, right? Uh, but then if I'm saying that he's not a good finisher, then I should be saying that Lewandowski isn't a good finisher, which I do not agree to at all, right? Like, but Werner, I feel like he had the benefit of pace and I think lack of physicality did make a huge difference. I feel like in Bundesliga, people like huge, good Zuma people aren't running at you, you know, like I think I
it's not
feel
nearly
like
as physical, yeah.
yeah, I feel like physicality is not just like literal physicality; it's also perceived physicality. When a defender is running towards you, yeah, sorry, your finishing can be like wavered, right? You can be put off at times, and I think that's what he's facing. And confidence. I feel like because he didn't start off well, building up that confidence very difficult, and it plays a role. Like you think 10 times before taking a shot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll also say I think it's just a big confidence issue as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember even back at RB Leipzig, he had issues where like I think they played against some Turkish team and like the fans there famously just go like insane with like the noises and props and everything. And I remember he had to like either I think he put in earplugs or he's just taken off because he's like this is starting to like he just said to the coach like this is kind of getting to me, and so they subbed him off. So I mean that's obviously not comparable to just like struggling at finishing, but I'm sure there's like a you know
For sure.
there's a mental aspect at play here.
Mm-hmm. But do we expect him to come good next year? Maybe with the season under his belt, and then Tuchel has a more stable presence in the off season. Would we expect him to come good, or does Chelsea just need to go for another striker?
I don't think they'll go for another striker that quickly, although it kind of looks like their position of need. I think they'll give it like a little bit of time, but I also think they have so many attacking options that like Werner has to really prove himself to work his way into that lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think you
let
have to
me
understand that it's not a given here.
who do we expect to come good next season? Who is more likely to come good next season? Havertz or Werner?
I want to say Havertz
Yeah.
Same. Havertz. Yeah.
because I think when you're a striker and you like Werner's a little bit lean and he's not like a strong player by any means, and he has speed, but like his finishing is a little inconsistent. I think he just lacks more fundamentals of being a striker than Havertz does of being just a good attacking mid.
True.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think Havertz can develop over time. He has less of a role at Chelsea than he did before. Yeah, I think Werner is a little more like. I think Werner's closer to his ceiling.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who's been the more who's going for the win in this game? If you can put that out there. Like I feel like Real Madrid should have gone for the win. It's their home. But like it seems like Madrid is holding back. They're playing too defensive. Chelsea is playing more attacking, pressing and stuff. I think Josh is just getting pissed about that as well. He's like Madrid is like just not doing what they should do.
Playing insanely lazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just watching like this game play out right now.
Yeah, why would you not go all out at home?
They're on the training ground. I feel like this is the most like apt setting for them to like try new things.
I mean, Tuchel goes for it always. He's very pragmatic, but he can smell fear in the opposition. Zidane isn't really an opportunistic coach as much as he is like, I have a setup, I'm going to use it, and we'll hold on for the rest of the game, right? Tuchel is very opportunistic. If he smells that like this game can change, I can change a few tactics, sub off a few players, he'll do it. He'd like subbed off 3 players at the same time. So it's not a surprise to see him going for it. It's just strange that Madrid seems so comfortable with just taking the draw.
Yeah, I mean, I think their issue is that they're playing Nacho and Varane right now.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know, the lack of one center back, I get it's Sergio Ramos, but the lack of one center back can't like your entire approach to the game.
I will say
Then also,
though.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, their tactics have kind of have left Varane and Nacho to just kind of like, stuck with like an open field, like the entire attack going against them. So yeah, I don't think the way Zidane's playing is really not suited to this team.
But Militão has been playing very well though.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been putting in some good challenges, doing some good work as well.
It was a really weird signing at the time.
Yeah, it was because he was very undeveloped. Like I saw him playing at São Paulo. He had just come out of the academy, and then he was signed right away, and he was very promising. But like, it's more common, I guess, to see players going onto smaller leagues first, right? So we have right now David Neres and Anthony playing for Ajax. They were on the same path as Militão. But if you are Real Madrid and you look at him coming on, and he's been strong lately, would you be more inclined to let someone like Varane go, especially seeing that he hasn't had the greatest seasons for the last couple of years?
I get that, but I don't know how much you will never sell, like at his state right now, I don't think you can sell Varane for more value than like what he provides just being there. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think any team's going to overpay for him. And I don't think like Real Madrid is like, unless they're desperate to move him, I don't see like, it's just an asset to have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't make sense to sell because like nobody's going to like cash in on him or anything like that. Also, yeah, Ramos is going to go soon. It's happening one way or the other. You kind of need to have a contingency plan. And so I think Militao is that plan. Nacho's he's a good stopgap player, but he's really not like a starting center back on a Champions League contender.
I could see that, especially not for a couple of years, right?
Nacho's good. Nacho's actually a really good player. I just think like he's a rotation player.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, Varane just made a mess.
I can only keep on defending him.
No, but thankfully it was on the offensive end, so no problem.
He was dancing around. He was doing samba.
Yeah, he gets very lost at just random junctures in games.
And he's not young to be that lost.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He's like 27 now.
Yeah.
27.
That's a guess, but I'm pretty sure it's like in that range.
Wow. But for me,
FIFA has me weirdly like keyed into like player ages.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, is that a penalty?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Never mind. It's died down.
Yashish, choose like a different noise to make when you're like.
I'm sorry.
Young viewers.
No, wait, but 16 to 24-year-old people don't even watch football anymore, so we don't have young.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know why I think Perez said that? Because I don't know how you're watching this game, Fran, but I have no doubt that me, Yashish, and his entire room full of like Stern kids are watching this like just through illegal streams right now.
Yep, 100%.
I'm sure that's why Perez saw drops in that demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question though? Gary Neville came out in support of against the Super League very strongly, right? Talking about how this sport isn't about greed and all. He works for the same company, and he works for this company, right, that charges £50 a month. £50 a month to watch these games in the beautiful game. So isn't there so much hypocrisy that someone from Sky Sports is saying that UEFA Super League is all about the greed while you're charging £50 a month during the pandemic? Like, it's just like pissed me off. Like, you're sure whatever everything he said I agree with, but change your prices. You let go of greed. Why are you still so greedy?
I mean, I don't know. With like people are always like hyping up like Mourinho when he got sacked, and even Gary Neville here. Even all these like pundits and like big football like analysts and whatnot, they still have their own interests. They're still backed by FIFA or Sky or something. They're not necessarily good guys.
No, that's true. But at the same time, especially the former footballers and the managers, right? These aren't the bad guys straight away, right? They might have interests that align with FIFA, and then they're bad guys by proxy in a sense, or by association. But like, these are still people that gave their lives for the game, right? They didn't go out and they didn't set out to join Sky in the first place. It's just that like, you have your livelihood, right? You need to work. And I liked the way he was. I liked the passion behind what he was saying. It felt very honest, and it's hard to find honesty in TV anymore. It is incredibly ironic that he was saying it with the Sky Sports banner below him, but it just felt honest, and I kind of enjoyed that.
I want to say one thing also. It's hard for an individual like Gary Neville to be like, oh, just talk to the Sky CEO and be like, hey, change your pricing model. Have a different approach to your business.
Yeah.
But having Gary Neville in a position on Sky means, okay, he at least is there to speak out on like issues that represent the fans to some extent. Yeah, he's getting paid by Sky, but like it's either him or some guy who just is a full like entire shill for Sky and is not willing to speak his mind on other matters as well. And same goes for like Mourinho, Arsene Wenger. They all have ties to Sky or FIFA and whatnot. And yeah, like they're not necessarily good for having like for speaking their mind on one thing and ignoring something else. But I also think that like at least they are in positions where they can kind of speak out on these issues.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, Gary Neville, like the Sky Sports thing, of course, it's not in his hands to change the pricing models in the first place. But it just Sky Sports is the thing, like it's the organization that I'm talking about. And that brings me to my next point. See, Gary Neville is like a small part. He's like the kind of the face of Sky Sports, and I'm criticizing Sky Sports, right? The clubs, the Super League clubs, right? Like United, Chelsea, blah, 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 blah. All these guys, like, I feel like the owners. Okay, my question: what should be the punishment, if any?
I don't know, because I also think like Perez should be punished in some way, but I think it's really unfair to the club for his actions to kind of screw them over. And so yeah, as for all the owners, I don't know what do you do, because you have, I mean, literally every like the primary like revenue drawers of like soccer or football.
Yeah.
How do you punish all of them? And let's say you do. I think they should be punished. Let's say they find them or something. Who ends up winning from you find Real Madrid or you find Chelsea or you find Liverpool? Just FIFA or UEFA wins. So I'm not like that big on like a punishment like that.
I feel like the punishment really has to be targeted at the executives of the clubs. And again, I agree with Archit. Fining really isn't the answer here. But I think maybe you can take them out of so like at the Premier League, you have the big six, they have the bigger vote in a sense, right? Whatever the decisions happening in the Premier League, you have the big six with their like founding votes or something like that, and then the 14 other clubs. So you could change that structure a little bit. You could also take out the executives from the higher up positions in the leagues. When Man United joined the Super League, Woodward resigned from all these organizations he was a part of, right? Well, just keep him out of there, right?
Yeah, just bar him from coming back to Man U.
Yeah.
Bar Agnelli. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad solution. I was thinking, if anything, the domestic leagues, like the Premier League, La Liga, could kind of take an active stance against these clubs. Maybe like a point deduction at the end of the season would be a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree. And it might make next year's competition more competitive too, right? Let's say.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see a Champions League with just West Ham, Villarreal, Sevilla. Like that'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Guys, do I have like vampire teeth? Look at that. Oh shit, I'm a vampire.
I feel like I might have the same thing too.
I'm a vampire, guys. Oh shit, that's so cool. Wait, holy shit. For the people who are listening to the podcast, I think I have vampire teeth.
For the people listening to this podcast, Yashish ate an edible like an hour ago, and they just
No to drugs.
I agree with that message.
Yes.
But then again, our audience isn't like people are all above the age of 24, so I don't think we should be worried.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but in reality, I can't imagine like that there's any person under the age of like 18 that has listened to this.
Yeah.
Ooh, true. Because I feel like under the age of 18, people, I don't think anyone's going to click on a video that's 1 hour long.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't have. Like, I wouldn't have I would be like, I want to watch a 10-minute video.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I actually like hour-long videos if like, I'm on a drive home and I just want something consistent instead of like a bunch of random things. Or if I'm on like a long walk, I just like to slowly work my way through an hour. Like if it's like 20-minute walk from like to my apartment from campus, I'll just kind of get through like a third of that video and then like finish it later.
We should ask our viewers to reach out to us, our listeners, our viewers. Reach out on social media and like talk to us a little bit. We'd love to have some fan interaction. Fan.
Oh yeah, at Archit on Instagram.
Oh, we have a fan right here. A fan of the SoccerUniverse. I can bring him on if you want.
Yeah. Are you referring to Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's him. But I don't know what he'll contribute. He's busy watching the game.
Josh we should have a segment where we like read fan comments or whatever.
But I don't think we have those many comments.
Yes, we do. We have so many comments, Yashish.
Oh yeah, we have comments all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah. A very bustling, thriving fan interaction.
let me make fake accounts and I'm just gonna put random comments in. Oh wait, I didn't say that out loud.
Nice.
Oh my god, but we did get a couple of comments in the last video. Nothing like extraordinary though, just good work, boys. It's a good one. Stuff like that. Very
that's a start. I like that.
Yeah, that's a start. We're getting some. I'm glad.
I also want to just point something out. I saw this like probably like 10 minutes ago, and I've just been like dying about this since. Hold on. Bukayo Saka has won the London Football Awards 2021 Young Player of the Year, which means I read that and I was like, this is the most specific award of all time.
Did he deserve it though?
I guess. I mean, who awarded London?
Nope. Foden.
No, it says London Football Awards.
Yeah.
Oh, London.
Yeah, that's how specific this is.
Mount.
Fair.
Isn't Saka younger than Mount?
Yeah, but Mount is still young.
I don't think the award is like exactly measuring how young you are in relation to how good you are. I'm sure they'll account for a year.
Yeah. Oh, that was close. Wait, let me ask.
I also want to say, it seems like the owner of Spotify is trying to buy Arsenal, by the way.
Would you like that?
I would. I really want new ownership, but it's not going to happen. Stan Kroenke, like, made a very hefty investment when he bought the club and then built a new stadium. So this is a long-term project for him.
What's the backstage, Josh?
She's a busy guy today.
There's Mount is the favorite here.
No, but what's your max age?
Mount?
23, 24. I guess that's young.
Mount 22, so yeah.
Yeah, Mount. Yeah.
It's 22 young.
22 is young. Come on. Just because Haaland is scoring like 50 goals a season at 20 years of age does not mean 22 isn't young.
Bro, I'm 23. So like 22 needs to be young.
Well, no, but you measure the ages of athletes in different units than like regular people. Because like a 30-year-old guy is like a young guy, I think, or he's like, relatively young. But like a 30-year-old soccer player is not a young dude. Like Sergio Ramos feels insanely old, but he's like 34.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thanks for the input.
Okay, but if we were talking about UK, then it was. If it's UK, then it's Foden, right? Oh,
Yeah, I'd say so.
if not Foden, then who?
I mean, Sancho plays in Germany, so I don't know if that like. Maybe
was close,
not.
that was close.
Yeah, I think it's Foden. The Greenwood is good, but he's not there. Saka's good, but he's not there.
Oh, he almost scored again.
Okay, I mean, it's Tony Cruz. Tony Cruz with the cross in. He's gonna cross it in, and that's a flat cross. Oh, yo, that would have
That
gone in.
was so close.
Varane would have all the words we said about Varane would have. Oh, look at Ramos getting pissed.
No, but it wasn't just Varane.
It wasn't. Oh, my bad. Oh, yes. Oh shit, Varane messed that up. But never mind. It's just
Ramos is running through the entire dictionary of Spanish like slurs under that mask.
Yeah. Oh, that was so close. That was so close. Wait, how many minutes of the game are left? Oh, not many.
Yeah, this is crunch time now.
Finally, Madrid is doing something. Like I haven't seen them this long in the other half for a while.
Jesus. I think someone.
I think I am like a couple like seconds to a minute behind you.
I feel like Fran's far ahead, and then it's me, then it's Archit.
Well, because I'm the only one on a legal stream, so.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm on them too.
Oh, so there we go.
Yeah, I want to say this podcast as an institution supports legal stream, so we endorse them.
Oh yeah, I'm on legal stream as well. I'm not doing no, nothing.
No, we support legal streams, but fight the power. Just like
yes,
exactly.
Yes,
this is how you do your part.
I wanted to discuss something in the entire mayhem of the Super League. We forgot about the new format of the Champions League.
Oh yeah.
Do you all know about
good.
it? Do you all know about it? Maybe we should like speak about what it is. If one of you all want to take it.
So they're splitting it up, so it's like a 10-team league instead of like a regular group stage. Like, I'm not mistaken there.
Wait, let me. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I think it's a big league in a sense, right? So teams will play 10 games instead of the regular 6 in the groups, and they might just play against everybody in a sense, right? So you might see Real Madrid play Juventus, Barcelona, and I don't know, Manchester United in the same group stage. What would have been the group stage, and then after that, the first 8 teams qualify directly to the knockout stage, and the next 16 have to play playoffs in a sense, and then you get the next 8 for the quarterfinals or round of 16.
It also has a weird like caveat that your UEFA coefficient will kind of propel you into the Champions League into like the remaining slots, even if you don't qualify, which is just a way for like Arsenal and Tottenham to like sneak their way in, even though they're entirely undeserving, especially Tottenham, because I know I get that it's biased, but like with the European Super League thing, at least it's like, oh, we're picking clubs with like history and prestige. At least Arsenal qualifies there. Like they have prestige. They're not good, but they have prestige. But I don't even know where Tottenham like fits that equation. And so I don't see why the UEFA coefficient should help them here either.
Why is Ajax not there? If you're taking teams with history and prestige, why is Spurs above
Ajax denied the request, I'm pretty sure.
Porto. I mean,
so I don't know about Porto, but I'm pretty sure Ajax just explicitly said we're turning it down.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like Porto did that too, but like there's so many teams that come before Spurs. It's just what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot of like low-level English teams now that, in all reality, are far more prestigious than Spurs.
And
like, I mean, yeah. No, like I would say like Nottingham might be more prestigious than Spurs if we're talking historically. They have more trophies.
Yeah. Or the Scottish teams. Aren't they more prestigious than Spurs?
Yeah, Rangers and Celtic. Both.
Here's the thing. You said like Celtic plural by accident, but here's the thing: the Boston Celtics at least a trophy, which Tottenham does not. So like that still gives them more of a shot here.
Uh,
But so, I mean, to just like shortly summarize what the new format will be, starting with 2023-24 season, I think, or 24-25 season, the league is the Champions League is gonna increase from 32 to 36 teams. The new 6 teams are gonna be the top from the 5th best league in Europe, the 3rd place team in that. For right now in the league one, only top 2 teams go through. So the 3rd place team will also go through. The second place is going to be from the the European Conference League, which is the 3rd division of the European competition now. And the top 2, like Archit said, are going to be based on the UEFA coefficients, which is not entirely, which is something like, it's again giving the elite a chance into the Champions League, giving the elite. It will be basically all 36 teams will be put into one league, and each team will play 10 league games. The top 8 teams go through, and they go through the knockout stages, and the next 16 teams play a playoff, right, from which the top 8 teams will go into the knockout stages, and I think the remaining 8 will go in the Europa League. At least that's what my understanding of the thing is. So yep, I am not, I mean, it's the lesser of the two evils. It is what it is.
Yeah, that, and also in reality, it's okay. So these clubs wanted to maximize their revenue anyway by proposing Super League. Now they're kind of doing that, but UEFA gets a cut of the pie, because I think what they're trying to work against is, like Real Madrid plays like Galatasaray, or even like forget that, like Spartak plays Galatasaray like twice in the group stage, and their issues like those might not draw a lot of ratings. So they're trying to like mix it in with like have more of a mix between like elite clubs and then like just lower level clubs. But to be honest, I'm a fan. As a fan, I've never had an issue with that setup. I don't mind, like they should be allowed to play their games too, and I don't mind Real Madrid playing like a Turkish team or like whatnot, right? That doesn't bother me. I don't see why that like.
That's why I watch the Champions League, honestly. I want to see the non-top league teams do well. I want to see what they have to offer. That's why I watch the Champions League. I want to see how far a team like Leicester can go. I want to see how far a team like Ajax, Moscow, or like Anderlecht, how far can these teams go? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like even Leicester is one thing, because I see them all the time in the Premier League. I actually like seeing teams that I have never heard of before and seeing how they play.
Agreed.
And like, yeah, sometimes it's not like weighted evenly match wise, but I still think it's more interesting than like, just a 10 league thing where Man U plays Chelsea every couple games.
No, I agree. And like, has anybody asked the players if they want to play more games? This is always
no one making a decision here cares about the players.
Yeah, because in the American leagues and basketball specifically, we hear a lot about player empowerment, and that's a very good thing. No matter the faults of the NBA as a structure like UEFA, but in soccer, they're years behind any of this really happening, of like player empowerment and all that.
Arguably, soccer is more player empowerment in terms of like moving and transfers and whatnot. But yeah, because you could leave your team any year. You don't have to worry about your contract ending or like getting traded or something. But in terms of just being involved in decision making, there's nowhere close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The game's over, by the way. 1-1. I would say Chelsea are the winners today. One away goal, a draw, going to the next game at Stamford Bridge. So I think I'm going to stick with my prediction of like Chelsea winning the entire the tie and losing in the finals. But yeah.
I have Real Madrid winning this one still, and like from my previous prediction, I want to stick to it. But going into the second leg, Chelsea has my vote of confidence.
I'm actually gonna say that Real Madrid won this game. Specifically,
won the game.
Well, here's the thing. Specifically because they went into the game wanting to draw. So if that was the game plan all along, they succeeded. Chelsea were trying to win it. Chelsea were trying to score more, right? And yes, they have a disadvantage going to England on the next match. But I feel like maybe they're okay with that. And Chelsea would have wanted to have more of an advantage.
I don't know if you're Real Madrid. I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if Zidane might have thought maybe we should draw here, but I don't know if Real Madrid really stands to gain anything by one drawing and then having to play a Tuchel defense in England, like away. Like I get you're saying, like they might have their own goal in mind before the game, but like yesterday, I had a goal in mind to like eat mildly healthy food, and I ate Chipotle, so it sort of counts because it kind of resembles a salad, but like I didn't really do anything good yesterday, did I? It's a really random analogy, but like
it was a good one.
No, I feel like Real Madrid's game plan not the right one. Zidane for once got it wrong in his knockout stages, I think.
I don't think it's a 4-1 thing. He makes a lot of mistakes, but I just think he's done well enough. Like every manager makes a lot of mistakes, but I think he's a mistake-prone like manager, but he's overcome like hurdles more often than not, so it works.
Yeah. Tomorrow's game is going to be interesting though. I feel like who do I think? Oh, by the way, I'm muted and it's not noisy background. Let's go. I'm unmuted and there's no noisy background.
Nice.
Did everyone just like clear the room, or what just happened?
Yeah, we're gonna clear the room. The game got over.
Damn, so they just left you in there, just sitting.
No, Argy's here with me. Hi, Argy. How's it going?
I'm in class too.
You're in sitting class.
Yeah.
He's in a class. That's why it's fine. I assume that you stayed back because you didn't want to abandon me.
Oh yeah, and
And Argy's a beast in defense. You should see him. Beast. It's my podcast. I want to say hi to my viewers. This is Argy, lads. This is Fran. This is Archit.
Nice to meet you.
It's similar to what Josh does. Josh is Liverpool, ours is football. We started before Josh. We gave Josh the... Why do I keep breaking my laptop?
I like that you categorize Liverpool and football as like different like things. Also, so tomorrow, who takes the first leg? Rapid fire predictions.
Where's the game at?
Actually, not sure. I think. Oh yeah, in Paris.
In Paris, I think it's gonna be Paris winning 3-1.
I like
Paris wins 3-1.
Yeah, Paris 3-1.
I could back that. I'll say 3-2 just for the sake of difference, and I kind of hope it ends that way. But yeah,
Can I sit on the can I be on the fence and not predict the score? But I'll say
Nah.
you can say something.
PSG win.
PSG.
You think PSG wins?
Yes.
Okay. But what's the scoreline though?
Let's say 2-0.
Okay, fair enough.
But,
I feel like PSG. I wouldn't be surprised if PSG comes ahead, then Man U kind of pulls back a little bit.
Man U.
Man City.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a very interesting game. I am scared that it might end up being very defensive. Like the first leg at least. I can see Pep like not like risking it in the first leg, expecting to do well and empty hard. But like I'm
don't
scared.
think it'll be too defensive. Like this matchup today, I came into it knowing this would be a very defensive game. As for tomorrow, I don't know. I don't think PSG will be playing defensive.
They can't afford.
And I don't think Man City. What?
PSG can't afford to be a defensive.
Yeah, but I'm saying if PSG are going relatively all out, I don't think Man City can afford to sit back either.
Yep. Because Neymar, I feel like Neymar and Mbappe maybe like when you're being very defensive, you have a very low line. You can control Neymar. That's what you can control Mbappe. That's what United did in the first game, right? We played a very low line. We didn't have much space in behind, and we let Tuan Zibi and Wan-Bissaka just control Neymar and Mbappe. But against Neymar, I think there aren't many things you can do. If Neymar's on form, all you can do is like hope that you have a defensive masterclass kind of situation. Yeah. And I feel like that's what happened in the first game against PSG. the reason why we were able to control Mbappe and Neymar was because Van Bissaka was in a different level. Tuanzebe was, I think Neymar and Mbappe and PSG underestimated Tuanzebe and I think United in general. And that's when the second game, when they came back, they kind of played around with us. Yeah.
Also, there is, I think the rivalry between United and PSG has been a little overplayed, although it kind of exists because of recent results. But there's a difference between putting Man United, who's coached by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Man City, who's coached by Pep Guardiola. Those guys are gonna turn up for the game.
I realize we haven't criticized Ole in a long time. Now that I'm thinking about it.
To be honest, though, we haven't had much to criticize him about. There's not much expectations right now because, we are expecting him to finish second in the league. He's doing his job, getting the wins, getting the draws once in a while. And we are expected to finish. I feel like if he loses the game against Roma, I won't necessarily criticize him if he goes all out. If he does, if he plays a good team, which is what, Thursday, right? Oh, we should predict that as well. If he plays a good team and then we lose, I won't criticize him. I might criticize the players. But if he puts a very weak team on the field, then I'll criticize him because this is a tournament we can win. This is a trophy we can win. Yeah. This is our chance to reach a finals and win the finals. So I would get really pissed if he does not go all out in this because the second place is all but ours. And even if we don't get second, we get third. Big whoop, right? I don't care. If it's not first, then it's any place in the top four is fine with me. No.
Is it bad that I'm scared of Villarreal on Thursday?
No. Unai Emery is a master of this tournament. So I and Villarreal themselves are a pretty interesting team, to say the least. I wouldn't say a difficult team, but interesting. They can turn up when they have to, and Arsenal can bottle it when they have to. So, but okay, let's do predictions for this. I think United beats Roma in just the first leg. Oh wait, where's the first leg? Is it Old Trafford? Because if it's away, then this is weird. If it's away, I would expect United to win. If it's home, then I'd expect us to draw the first leg.
That's not weird. I low-key am in the same boat.
Yeah,
I feel like we're worse at the Emirates. All right, Estadio de la Ceramica. It's a cool name.
Yeah, wait, where's the first game at? It's at Old Trafford.
Stadium of Pottery.
That's kind of sick. I prefer that to Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, the first game is at Old Trafford. I think United versus Roma first game. Actually, I still think we can win. We should win. I don't see a scenario in which we don't win. Unless a team that's put on the field does not have Bruno, does not have Rashford. I just can't see it. I'd say United wins 2-0. A professional performance.
I'm gonna call a draw for Villarreal Arsenal. I'm praying for a win, but I have this sinking feeling that I don't know, we won't be able to actually have any creativity tomorrow on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it will be a draw as well. But I think Arsenal will take the tie.
Yeah, if we get the away goal, then I'm cool with that. I think we'll move fine from there.
What do you think, Fran?
I think Arsenal are gonna stay behind, unfortunately. I think Emery has something to prove against you guys, and he's just gonna lay all of his tactics out into the field. And I mean, I like Arteta. I have defended him on this podcast before, but he's not yet on the level Emery is, right? Emery is a seasoned manager with experience in big tournaments.
Yeah.
So I kind of expect Villarreal to take that.
I mean, she said it best, by the way. Emery three-peated the Europa League.
Yeah.
Which is not talked about enough, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to mention that Sevilla is a bigger club than Spurs. Sevilla should be in the Super League and not Spurs.
Yes.
I agree.
Oh, can I? I don't know how long.
Not even ironically. I genuinely agree.
No, same. I actually agree. Yeah. I'm not sure how long we necessarily have been going on for because I don't know the time of how long the recording's been on. Unfortunately.
I guess we're at an hour.
Yeah. So I had one last question to ask y'all before we can end. If you had to mention 5 teams outside of the bigs, the 12 Super League teams, PSG, Bayern, Dortmund, and Leipzig, these 16 teams, outside of these 16 teams, they could be in any league in the world, and you want to give them an honorable mention, clubs that we believe should be in a Super League, right? Or at least they have like the history or the ability to be in the league. What would like your 5 names be?
I think it's the 5 most prestigious teams you can put into the Super League.
Yeah, the ones who were like left out from not the top
Yeah.
5 leagues, just like teams that are brilliant. We know that they have a good history. They've been better than some of the Super League teams in the modern times. For example, Sevilla would be one of mine.
Sevilla is definitely deserving. Okay.
Does it have
I
to be
think-
European?
We talked about Ajax already.
I mean, it is for the European Super League, but if you want to give we can give credit to people like teams outside of Europe as well. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just like a tribute to top teams outside of the greedy bastards. I'll beep that out. See, for me, I've thought about this. I think Celtic is up there for me. Celtic is up there. Ajax is up there. Sevilla. Then I didn't know which of the Portuguese teams is the most prestigious. So
I think Porto.
there's Porto, Sporting, and there
I
is
think Porto internationally, and then maybe Benfica domestically.
Benfica is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Third name. So for me, like I would mention Porto simply as well because they won the Champions League. You know.
Mhm.
Then the 5th team is the one I haven't thought well enough about. I would go into the Turkish league, you know, one of, but I'm not like, but I'm not sure which one. Like Fenerbahce is there, then Besiktas is there, then is Istanbul Başakşehir one of them? No. Yeah.
Yes, but Galatasaray.
Galatasaray. Yes. So I don't know which one of those, but I would 100% have like a Turkish team that needs credit. So yeah, those were the names that came to my mind when I thought of 5 teams outside of the big.
I mostly agree with it. Yeah. Okay. So Ajax, Benfica, Porto. I'll give Sevilla credit. And then who's number 5?
Napoli.
Ajax.
Napoli, maybe.
Ooh. Yes,
What about Lazio?
Napoli.
Yeah.
No, I
well,
think Napoli for me. And the players Napoli has, right? Such brilliant players. I think
That's what I'm trying to avoid, right? Because I mean, you can always make the argument that Tottenham and Arsenal, not Arsenal. You always make the argument that Tottenham has like a lot of great players. But my thing more is that like I'm talking from a historical success perspective.
Well, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
Maradona
Roma,
didn't
then.
play for Spurs. Maradona played for Napoli, right?
You know, there's this such a
Marek
famous
Hamsik
quote.
did not play for Spurs. He played for Napoli.
There's this really famous quote, Angel Di Maria quote. It really hurts to see when you're playing really well and you hear that you might be going to Spurs.
That's a legendary quote.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest quotes of all time.
We should have a recurring segment where we analyze one team that we think is better than Spurs every week.
Oh,
you know?
yes.
Is
Yes.
this team better than Spurs? And we lay out all the arguments for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, so every week that like we could have like one of us comes up with a team, right? And then the other 2 have to be the judge of it. So the other 2 have to
That's
say yes or
right.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Let's
it's
call
like
it-
it's rigged, and everybody says yes every day.
I'm fully on board. Yashish, what was your first one?
For me, it's Sevilla, 100%. Sevilla is
We both agree. Sevilla has actual European trophies.
Yeah.
They're
exactly. They have trophies. Period. They have trophies.
Yeah.
Period. Like
Their
I can
first edition
guarantee
of-
Sergio Reguilon is wondering why did he make this mistake. Like that's all I can say. So what do we call
before
this
we wrap
segment? What do we call this segment? Trump Spurs?
Are they better than Spurs? It's like, are you smarter than a 5th grader? But
Yeah. Very
Are you
like
better than-
an American game show.
Yes. All right. Good. Sounds good.
all right. And with that, Sevilla is better than Spurs. Well, it is known. Apologies to Norway as always. We kind of snuck a last shot at you. Yeah. I'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. All right.